All right, guys, so I'm going to explain what happens when you get poor posture and how that negatively affects your body, and in specific, your spinal column and more so your central nervous system. So you have the spinal column, and in through it runs your spinal cord. Your spinal cord, obviously, this is back to just the basic chiropractic. Spinal cord is responsible for all nervous system transactions and transmissions in the body. You need 42 degrees of posture in your neck, 33 degrees of posture in your thoracic column, and then 40 degrees in your lumbar. What we see a lot of times is people, specifically in their cervical spine, they have poor posture. What happens then is the neck, let me show you right here, this neck begins to, so typically it should be back more so almost like that, right? That's about how it should be, right? You get 40 degrees of curvature in there, or 42 degrees, excuse me, and that's about perfect, right? So what happens is people are, what are you doing, right? You're looking down at your phone all day, you're constantly looking down, you never really look up. What happens is slowly over time, this column, right, slowly it bends forward like that, right? And when it bends forward, what happens? You strain that spinal cord in there, and you cannot get proper transmission of nerve signals through these nerve roots, okay? Obviously, that poor posture is negatively affecting your body. Headaches are like a #1 characteristic of something that's probably wrong within your cervical spine. If any of this is out or subluxated, or if you have, routine forward head posture, you're probably gonna have some sort of headaches. You might have issues with your thyroid. You might have issues with your vision, with mucus, with your nose. Inner ear can be out. So I had an ear infection. This is interesting. I had an ear infection, and what did I do? I didn't go to my primary care physician. I went to the chiropractor, and he said, "You know what's out, Ryan?" I said, "What's out?" He said, "Your C2 is out." C2 is directly related to nerve transmission in the ear. So what he did was, right, so my atlas, so this is how we're doing, right? This is your atlas, right? C2 was out to the right, okay? So it was shooting out. This one doesn't want to move, but it was out about like that, right? So what he did was he corrected it, fixed the subluxation, brought it back into place, and 24 hours, it was gone. Right? So having better posture is going to significantly affect, in a positive way, nervous system transmission to the rest of the body, right? So even, I'll give you an example, right? If I'm sitting here just like this, right, and I have my head up just like this, looking at a computer, I have everything in my spine is out of whack right now, right? My lumbar spine is trying to take the whole brunt of this because it's straight, it's flattened out, it's not at its proper curvature, right? My shoulder blades, my entire thoracic spine is crunched down. That's affecting lungs, heart, essentially your entire digestive system, which actually we're finding out the gut-brain axis has a lot to do with dopamine and serotonin release. So if I'm down like this and my intestines can't properly function, I can't properly get those neurochemicals that we need as humans, right? So again, coming up more like this, sitting up posture. Shoulders roll back. Again, shoulders are not forward, shoulders are back and straight, right? You want it just about the line of your ear, in line with your shoulder. Look up, and that's how you should be typing at your work every day, okay? Quick recap. All of these organs, literally everything in your body is controlled by the central nervous system. Again, runs through your spinal cord. You get the idea. That's boring. What's not boring is this. #1, disc degeneration, all right? So this occurs when you have poor posture, right? And eventually what happens is these vertebrae get so compressed, you can see this is a great vertebrae, right? It comes down here, slowly progressing into closer and closer spacing, and eventually it partially fuses to itself, okay? Really not a good thing to happen, creates a lot of pain for people, and it just creates a whole bunch of negative interactions in the body. These nerve roots permanently cannot get these signals, right? So what are we doing here? #1, chiropractic care, right? So that's gonna adjust your subluxations in the spinal column. When you're adjusting the subluxations in the spinal column, right? So let's just take this one right here, right? So this, Dr. Baker is going to optimize that nerve transmission right there. And then at home, what we're doing is we are going to give you a home care kit. Now there's a couple items, and everyone's home care kit is personalized to them. So we'll take this Dakota wedge real quick, right? So #1, this would be something that you would lay on. You would put your shoulders right here. You would put your back over this, you would put your neck over this hump, neck over this hump, and that would help reverse the curvature, right? So you can actually put your neck back like that, okay? So when you're able to, so you see, right, so I can bring my neck all the way back. You know, half the people in the world can only bring back to like maybe here. I go all the way there, right? It's very easy for me. Why? Because I actually do my home care that they have recommended for me. This is a good one, right? So a lot of people that have pain in their hips, right? They say, oh man, I've got something off that's back here, right? More than likely, you have a negative or a positive pelvic tilt, okay? So what we do is we take these bad boys and we're gonna instruct you on how to shift your pelvis, and that is going to help even your pelvis out. You're gonna get optimal nerve transmission, and it's gonna correct whatever subluxation you have, right? So let's also say you have a really bad curvature in your lumbar spine right here, right? So that would be, this is your pelvis, right here. Or I'm sorry, that's actually your sacrum. It would be L5, L4, L3, L2, L1, right? So all 5 of those vertebrae, let's say they're out, let's say it's basically straight, you don't have any curve. What we would do is, we would start, so this has a couple of degrees in it, a couple of levels, right? And what we would do is we would start with the bottom one, or whatever feels comfortable for you, and we would have you lay on this for roughly 10 minutes. It depends. Again, this is individually variant on patient. But what we do, eventually, you would work up to this whole stack, right? And putting your lumbar spine over that, it's gonna help increase that curvature, and again, get you that optimal nerve transmission, so you don't wake up in the morning and say, oh my gosh, my back is so stiff and so achy, oh my gosh, this, that, and the other. You got your home care and you fixed your problem. So you don't have pain, number 1, and number 2, you don't develop disc degeneration, okay? That's actually lumbar disc degeneration over here, and you can see, this is a great example, right? So using this wedge can help open up the space. You see how much space there is between that ligament, right? Between those vertebrae, right? We go over here all the way to phase 5, that's partially fused, right? You don't want that. You literally could not move your back. If I was gonna try to do kettlebell swings, right? I would have to keep my entire back straight. You literally couldn't move your back like this. You would have to go down like that. Not very fun. We've seen a lot of people with it. We can help people who do have some sort of disc degeneration, and we can help reverse it a little bit, but again, better get in sooner than later to actually fix your problem.
Hey everybody, we had a great shift today. We saw kids, we saw adolescents, toddlers, teenagers, geriatric patients. When you guys are watching these videos, do a couple things. Like, subscribe, hit notifications, and tell us what you guys want. We actually personally watch these videos. We respond to every comment personally. So make sure you guys are checking us out, and make sure you give us feedback. We'll see you guys next time.